hopefully you've all had a very festive time. I know I have, but I also know that there is one more event this year in the world of mixed martial arts, and for that, a final predictions video. This is the card, which is as close as the UFC will get to a New Year's Eve card. I think it's actually on the 30th rather than the 31st, but I can't say I remember, to be totally honest. Anyway, it's a decent card. UFC 141, not to be included in, for me, either category of this year or next year, as far as, you know, fight of the year is concerned. So we'll begin with the main event, Brock Lesnar versus Alastair Overeem. Now this for me is a bit of a freak show fight. Alastair Overeem, as I understand, big in Pride when it was around and good elsewhere. I'm so not interested for some reason. I didn't really follow him in Pride, I don't really know him, and from what I've heard of him I probably wouldn't like him anyway. Brock Lesnar, you know, the guy who was fast-tracked to the title on fame of being a professional wrestler, got it, lost it, and of course has been out several times with bowel problems. So he hasn't fought in goodness knows how long. So to me it's a bit of an exhibition freak show fight. Alastair Overeem is the obvious choice to pick on that one. So I'll go for KO in the first. Now I'm going to start at the bottom of the card and work my way up. Manny Gambourian and Diego Nunes. Manny Gambourian, you should know from Tough, although I think he actually hurt himself and had to be removed before he could compete. If I remember rightly, I can't remember. I just have a feeling that was him. I could be wrong. Manny Gambourian, good judo person. Diego Nunes. The thing about him is that he has fought better calibers, and he has also won against more of the calibers that he has fought. I'm going to go for Diego Nunes. I shall be nice to Manny and go for decision. Matt Riddle and Luis Ramos. Luis Ramos is easily, I think, capable of beating Matt Riddle. I hope he does also, because I don't like Matt Riddle. I've had personal contact with him and he was very rude to me, so I hope he gets beaten. I shall go for choke submission in the first there. Jacob Volkmann is fighting Efrain Escudero. Jacob Volkmann sort of appeared from nowhere, and I had a habit of voting against him, and he's actually won, his record's actually very good, 13-2. He wins by submission or decision. He has a 4-fight win streak as well. Efrain Escudero, former tougher, 18-3, 12 submission victories to his name. He is making his return fight since being pushed out of the UFC. Now I have a feeling that Efrain Escudero has been trying very hard to get back in the UFC. Why? Because this fight will be his 6th fight this year, and he has won most of those fights this year. However, Jacob Volkmann, who I would usually vote against, has beaten better calibers. I don't know. People say that because Efrain is on a roll, he's been doing so many a year, he'll be fine. Part of me thinks, well, won't he be exhausted after fighting, you know, 6 fights in a year? I think I might go for Jacob Volkmann by decision. Dong Hyun Kim is fighting Sean Pearson. Sean has a record of 11-5, wins and loses by TKO. Dong Hyun Kim has a record of 14-1. His only loss is to Carlos Condit. So he will probably win this one almost certainly. I'm going to go for TKO in the second. No Joe Kwai is fighting Danny Castillo. And this is a hard one to call, I reckon, a really hard one to call. 14-5 for Anthony. Wins by TKO, he's got 8 victories in that manner. Loses by submission. Danny Castillo, 12-4, so not so good in terms of record. But Anthony Njoku, who has fought lots of the best in WEC, very big in WEC, hasn't been doing so well lately. Record loss, loss, win, loss, win. And really based on that, because I don't think there's much between these two, I'm going to go for Danny Castillo by decision. Ross Pearson and Junior Asankeo. Ross Pearson's British talent, 12-5, but his record recently not so good, win, loss, win, loss. Junior Asankeo is a sucker punch fighter, 13-4. He has never been TKO'd, which is sort of a strong point of Ross Pearson. He is also on a 7-fight win streak. I think Junior Asankeo will win. I'm going to go for bar submission in the 3rd. Nam Pham and Jimmy Hetz. Jimmy Hetz, perfect record of 9 still. Nam Pham, the guy from Tough, who they like to give chances to. You know, he has never been subbed, and Jimmy Hetz is very good on the ground. But look at his past. Loss, loss, win, loss, loss, win. So I have a feeling that this could be the first time we see him submitted. I shall go for a bar submission in the 3rd there. Vladimir Matyushenko is fighting Alexander Gustafsson, who is a big name, but has a surprisingly small record when placed next to Vladimir Matyushenko. And I feel that lots of people underestimate Vladimir, and he's actually very, very good. I think that Vladimir will probably win this one, although I'm going to go for decision. Johnny Hendricks and John Fitch. Interesting match this. John Fitch, you will remember, is an AKA fighter. Record 23-3. 13 of his victories are by decision, because he is the absolute epitome of the wrestler for MMA. He's also not allowed to contend because Dana White does not like him. So he is fighting all and sundry. And Johnny Hendricks, who's been on a roll recently, loss, win, win, he is quite exciting because he is he's more a TKO guy. So this will be groundsman versus stand-up. Johnny Hendricks I have in fact met, and his record 11-1, so he's not bad. Thing is, John Fitch has so much experience, and it's just the wrestling thing, isn't it, again? I don't know if Johnny Hendricks is well-rounded enough to stop takedowns, and if you can't stop takedowns, then it's the usual story. So I'm going to go for John Fitch by decision. And last on the card, Nathan Diaz is fighting Donald Cerrone. Again, another very interesting match here. Nathan Diaz hasn't got the best record in the world, 14-7, and his recent record, win, win, loss, loss, win. He has 10 submission victories and 6 decision losses. Unfortunately for Nathan Diaz, he doesn't do so well when put up against calibers, and that's the problem with Donald Cerrone. Donald Cerrone is the Jackson's wrestler who is actually able to be a mixed martial artist as well. He's actually very, very exciting. He does have 13 submissions, but he is able to do stand-up as well. He is well-rounded, and his record 17-3. He's also on a 6-fight win streak. So I think Donald Cerrone will probably win. I'm going to go for split decision. So I sort of want Nathan Diaz to win because I'm just worried that he's going to be a bit close to getting cut. The UFC could turn nasty against him, and I hope they don't do that because I do want him to succeed. But one has to try and remain impartial under such circumstances, I'm afraid.